right here is my 1998 Toyota Corolla LE, and it has been my daily driver the past 2 years since I've had my license. Now, to the average Joe, this is just a typical rusted out piece of crap 1998 Toyota Corolla LE. To me, it's a little more than that. This car has been in the family for over 20 years and has done a sentimental value in it. So, as it comes with these old rusted out cars, maybe time to say goodbye to this old piece of junk.
Here is where I forgot to expand on that statement. True, the rust is a determining factor in why we were getting rid of the car, but there is another big issue. While the engine is running strong as per all old Toyotas, the suspension is toast. It clanks and rattles any and every chance it gets. We could get everything repaired, but because we're not rich, it's not financially feasible. The suspension would cost big money, and the rust, even bigger money. So anyway, back to the video.
To get a proper send-off, I thought I'd review it like I've done with cars in the past, and jibber-jabber and libber-labber, I guess. Alright, as I said before, this is a 1998 Toyota Corolla LE. It's been in the family for over 20 years. First, my grandpa's car, he bought it in '01. I seem to have heard it was in some sort of accident before he bought it, but he didn't find out until later. Must not have been significant enough as it wasn't recorded in its history report. Nevertheless, he kept it, and it's been in the family ever since. He pretty much drove it until, well, he got old and couldn't drive it anymore, and then he gave it to my uncle, who may be a kind man. He is rather clumsy, and he may be the explanation of why this car is in rough shape right now. He had gotten another car, gave it to my brother. He drove it for a while, then it was handed down to yours truly. I started driving in January of 2022, and of course I was given this car right here. Drove the car without anything happening for about 3 months, and in April of that year, stupid idiot me thought I could go fast in an ice storm and ended up getting into a little accident, as you can see right here. I won't really go into depth what happened because it may be a bit embarrassing. This happened, that happened. I'd lost my logo. It probably took me about a year or two to find another one. Popped the hood. That happened. My headlight became a little dislodged. These aren't the original headlights that were on the car. The originals had a lot more chrome in them. They had gotten fogged up over the years. My brother, instead of, you could have easily taken some sandpaper and some polish and restored them, but my brother opted to get these headlights, which I personally think look a lot better. They kind of blacked out any of the areas of unnecessary chrome, gives it a bit of a modern look. Unfortunately, they are starting to yellow themselves. Moving on to the side, the car has worn many sets of hubcaps over the years. From the factory, it came with these salad shooter hubcaps, you could call them. However, these set on now are not the originals. I remember the originals as a kid, then out of nowhere, my grandpa put a new aftermarket set on, and that was that for those. I don't know why he replaced them. I just assume he must have damaged them and then thrown them out. My uncle had been given the car. With his reckless driving, the aftermarket set had all fallen off. The car was passed on to my brother. He put another set of aftermarket hubcaps on, and the car was given to me. I drove the car for a little while with those hubcaps. Then, in an unsuccessful junkyard search for a new logo, I had found these. They were beat up. I sort of restored them, and they've been in the car for about a year. I think they look awesome. I'm definitely going to keep these once we get rid of the car. Fond memories of having them on the car, like right now. As you see, got a little crazy with the spot putty right there. That hole's another story. Let's look at the imperfections. There's a little rust there. I just found that hole the other day. It got a big rust spot here. My brother had did a Bondo job and I had made a hole in it. I don't know where this came from. My uncle might have done it, or grandpa might have done it. Whatever it is, it's there. I tried to bang it out, paint over it, and I failed miserably. Got this hole right here, faded, fade, all faded. This is where some of the main damage of the car comes from. Look at that. Yeah. Ugh. Structural rust damage. It's always the little things that kill. It's a LE. I think this is actually the high-end model. To be honest, I really don't see too many LEs on the road. The vast majority of them are like CEs and VEs. Dare I say, your boy has a bit of a superiority complex of his rusted out 1998 Toyota Corolla LE. One thing you'll notice is that on one side, the door handles are painted, but on the other side, they're not. That is because the original painted door handles had broken. My brother had bought some new ones. Never really bothered to paint them because old beat up car, it works, it's functional, so yeah. Here's the interior, what I've had to get into for the past 2 years. My brother did a speaker job on this, so he had taken these panels off. They're a little loose from that. Problems with the window switch regulator. It's caused that. The carpet's all worn down. Seats are faded. And this Corolla's got a tachometer on it. It seems like, at least when I've been in the junkyard, the vast majority of these E110 generation Corollas don't have the tachometer. It's got power mirrors, the steering wheel, crank it around. It's doing this, I'm sure many of Corollas do this. Got a tape player. I often love to plug in my tunes with one of these tape adapters. I guess it was with all years of this generation because for some reason, some of these cars had a CD button on them, yet they didn't come with a CD player. The cars with the CD player had the AM/FM tape player down this cubby hole and had the CD player where the tape player was. Even in the cars that weren't equipped with a CD player, they put the CD button there and there is no CD player. Weird. There was some sort of cover here. Stupid me had put his heavy book bag on it and broke it. Cup holders, ashtray, which has thankfully never been smoked in. Another thing my brother did was place the cigarette lighter with a USB thing right there. Pretty convenient mod. I think this is a 4-speed auto. The transmission's pretty much dying out. Always remember to put my handbrake on no matter what, because you can't rely on your parking gear to hold the weight of your car. Believe a lot of people should know that. It's got the original owner's manual. Forgot it for this video, but there is some sort of original like Toyota service documentation booklet. I guess I really like that booklet because there's a picture of a Supra in it. I had found documentation of the original owner of this car. Seemed like it probably was given to this lady as like a college gift. Began its life in a village somewhere near Columbus and looked to spend some of its life in a farm. Anyway, this door handle's a good story. The great blizzard of 2022, yes, it was in the negatives. I had attempted to open my passenger door and, well, it broke. So instead of opting for a new door handle, I put my redneck ingenuity to the test, cut a head off of a screw, heated it up, and inserted it on the inside. So it's probably a lot more stronger than any of these door handles combined. I don't know. The headliner was sagging in some spots. For some reason, I just felt the need to rip the whole dang thing out, and I don't know why. Whenever you rub it like this, dust comes off.
That's a great product. I have that one at home.
Visors. This thing likes to come off. Got some sort of tray. It broke. Here's the back. Not much to see. Just a bunch of junk, leftover masks from the COVID pandemic. My crappy tripod, jacket scraper, and a crappy Bob Ross lookalike painting I did for my church small group. You can see more of the rust hole right here. I had tried to paint it with some rust paint to stop it, but didn't do nothing. There's some under this trim piece. Go to the trunk, you'll get to see some fun goodies. These are the hubcaps that my brother had put on it. I just had taken them off in favor of those salad shooters. Why does it have to be a hole? Yep, 2 holes, more rust. I just think about that Alice in Chains song, Frogs, and it says, why does it have to be this way? I want to reword it and say, why does it have to be rust? Why does it have to be rust again? These corner lights right here are the originals, but my brother had gotten some aftermarket ones that pretty much looked identical, except it wasn't amber here, it was clear, and then you had the amber light in the middle. Then a garbage truck had knocked one of the lights out. This is around the time he stopped driving the car, so he didn't really take time to put the old lights back in. I was given that job when I started driving this car. This light, the one that was busted out, came out perfectly and I put the old one back in. To make it look symmetrical, I had taken the other aftermarket light, put the original back in, but it was a pain in the rear. My brother had put some sort of unconventional China bolt on the aftermarket tail light. It was a pain to get off. I had to torch it, play around with pliers, bang at it. The irony of the story is I find it amusing that I really went out of my way to replace the taillight that didn't need to be replaced. 1998 Toyota Corolla LE. The suspension is absolutely toast in this car. It rattles around, it bounces, etc. Here's under the hood. As with Toyotas, the car's practically going to fall apart around the engine. This is I think a 1ZZ FE. This is the first year they didn't use the A-Series engines for the Corollas. It's grimy under here. It probably will keep going until the Rapture. Washer fluid tank is damaged and empty. Power steering is iffy. I really don't care because I like heavy steering. I tried to shine up those headers right there, just to no avail. Tried to shine up the valve cover. Nope. Didn't. Just your typical bone stock 1ZZ FE. I mean, I don't even know if there's mods or anybody that has bothered modding these engines. We also got this Ohio bicentennial sticker right here. My grandpa had presumably put that there, so little sentimental value. It's also got bicentennial plates for it too. This car was bought by him around the time Ohio was celebrating their bicentennial. Guess it kind of puts a little bit of a date on this car, if you know what I mean. Well, guys, I found no other poetic way than to, well, film this outro at the park we used to play in as kids whenever we visit my grandparents' house. Not too far away from me. Even though this car has only about 150,000 miles on it, it looks like it's been through the ringer. I think it's in worse shape than some cars that have probably twice its mileage. If this car could tell stories, it would. Some big, some small, some in between. Gonna miss old Rusty here. This is old piece of junk. So that is all for today's video, guys. I'll see y'all later.